Good Friday morning. Well, it was a very busy day yesterday. I managed to close in the roof rafters on the backside of the shed facing the snowblower shed because there was a wide gap between each one of them which mice can get in. So I got everything sealed. I'm going to show you inside. The day before yesterday, I bought some caulking. And actually yesterday, I get my days mixed up, I bought two more tubes of this Henry wet patch, and then two of the roofing cement cheap stuff that's only like $2.50 a tube. This is about $7 and change for a tube, because online, the local store, you can get a gallon of this Henry 209R rubberized stuff, supposedly under $21, but they want $27, $28 for it, even though it says it's available in the local store for $20 and some a gallon. So I buy them this way, and that way I don't get so messy. And I put the caulking, the Henry stuff, this right here, into the 8-foot long, 3/4 inch wide by about a 1/2 inch deep groove, which was in there, and I think that's where the water's coming from. So I'm going to show you now what it looks like up there, because I still got the ladder there. Head of the ladder here, I'm not all the way up on the roof. And you can see where I did it. This 8 foot from here over to this point here. Now, on the upward slope of the main shed, which is also the snowblower shed, which was added on, where the seam is, you know, where the stuff that I put down and the brownish area, it's soft in that area because the OSB crapboard underneath is all rotted out. So that went over the sheet metal, the metal shed. So when I walk on that, you can hear it give, and there may be some cracks in there, so that would have to be the next area to be addressed. The right way to have done this is to rip that damn OSB shitboard off of there and do it right, but I'm just too damn old to do that. So I'm hoping that that groove that goes down the middle, which you don't see anymore because it's covered, it was the source of the leak, but I am not positive, and I got the other stuff to put on it, but we're going to wait for the next rain. Everything is dry in there in the shop. I made sure there's no more leaks. I was able to put this on without any problem. We didn't have any rain, so we had a good day. So that's the story on the outside of the shop, and of course, naturally, we still got this growth on the shop roof. The plywood is very sturdy. I was able to stand on this with no problem whatsoever, so it's not rotted. So in other words, it's not leaking. When I did this shop roof, I had 30-pound felt, and I had a 5-gallon bucket of tar, roofing cement, and I painted the plywood totally, not just in spots, but totally. And then I applied the 30-pound felt underneath this roofing. So it's got that. It's got a coat of tar on the plywood. Then it's got a the 30-pound felt. And then when I put the rolled roofing on, it had some more tar, which I spread. I can't do that kind of work anymore. I just don't have the stamina or the strength or anything. But the only thing I'm very good at is farting. So, all right, so that's the verdict there. And when the next rain comes, I'll keep a check on the inside of the shop and make sure there's no more leaks, because I'm not putting anything back on that shelf until I know it's not leaking anymore. And the worst case scenario, I'll just keep going up here as long as I'm physically able and just keep putting it on there. I think it's the high side, the part that goes up like this. I think that's where the problem is, because that's the bad area. This is all solid because this is plywood when it went down to the valley. But going up this way is the bad part, because I was putting this rolled roofing on top of the other shingles, other old roofing that came down to the valley originally, but underneath it was OSB crapboard, was all rotted out. So in order for me to have fixed that the proper way, is I would have to cut back on the area from the end over to here and apply more plywood and redo that and re-roof that, and that would be an awful, awful, awful hard job. And yes, as pointed out with one of my viewers, this is crap. Look at it. And I got to check this. This seems to be solid in here. I think it's a 2x4 that goes through. So this is going to be a later repair, and I'm going to have to go and dig in here and apply some plywood in there, pressure treated. My fear is if I seal this up and there's still a leak up underneath, if the water can't come out here, it's going to go into the shop. So if I replace this, of course, as I recall, I think this plywood goes over another piece. That's why it's overlapped here. And I think what these shingles do is as I recall, they go up like this. See, that's the normal way. You just don't butt them up there. You put it up here. So I think I did all that, and it's tarred in there. So if that's the case, I might just clean this up, slap a lot of roofing stuff on there, and slap a pressure-treated plywood in there, and add another piece of 30-pound felt up to maybe here, clean this all up good and really do it. But that's a later project. And what I'm worried about is not the water now, because it hasn't rained. It's supposed to soon, I guess. So what I'm worried about, it's still got a very strong smell of mothballs, because before I close that area up, and I'm going to take you up there and show you, I put a small bag of mothballs and just threw them in there. So you got a heavy mothball smell, and when I come in the house, my wife said, you smell like a mothball. She's allergic to it. Unfortunately, it makes her wheeze. And I can smell it. But there may be a couple of mothballs I threw in the corner here, because the problem is, I don't know, I'm afraid to look. I got to clean that corner out. I usually find a lot of sawdust from the OSB shitboard that keeps disintegrating because it's all rotted out. That's behind the wall of, that 3/4 inch plywood, that wall there in the back. I don't know how well you can see that, but starting in this corner here, between the joists, the roof joists, in here, there's a 2x3 in here, wedged in. I cut it precisely on the chop saw and wedged it in and used liquid nails to put it in place. You can see each one of these all the way through. I took all the stuff out, the scope, everything out of here yesterday and caulked it all. So nothing can get through there other than water, and I don't get a leak here anyways. It's all down below this piece of wood here at that end. So it's all done, but you really can't probably see too much in there. Maybe, I don't know. All right, so in here, the second shelf, this is where the water comes in, or has been coming in, and it is, it starts leaking here. It's dry now because we haven't got any rain, and I'm hoping that it stays dry over here, and over here. So it seems to be all right. But we still seem to get that sawdust stuff, and I don't know where it's coming from, because I got everything sealed. I can't get my finger in anywhere. But it's the OSB crapboard that's behind the main plywood, which is the backside of the snowblower shed. All right, I pulled everything out, and these are the mothballs that I shoved in here. So what I did is I took some plastic, wrapped the mothballs in it, and shoved it in there. But I don't think anything's going to come through there. Anyway, so I'm going to take these out of here because that's what's giving me a strong smell of mothballs. So this is the shelf below that, and there was a big pile of that OSB crapboard sawdust in this corner. And I just can't tell where it's coming from because it's not coming from here. It's all sealed up. There's wood behind there. There's no hole there. So it's a big, big mystery, and so far there's nothing there because I cleaned it all out. But I don't know what the heck it is. And, of course, I used up the last of my caulking doing the overhead I just showed you between the joists. So this is becoming a big challenge with this situation. Now, not much lighting is piss poor here. I'm trying to show you. This is a 2x3, obviously, and behind that is a board with a groove. There's a groove in it for this wire, so it's free to move, and it's caulked in here. And the wood that I showed you on the other side is underneath this, and it's not OSB. There's a 3/4 inch piece of pressure treated that goes right across with a groove for this wire to come through, and then it goes through the wall. So it's all caulked at this point here, and it just comes out the top. It's got a V in here in the back of the shelf, and then it comes up over for the wiring for the shop. So anyway, and it's on the circuit breaker. So I don't know. I don't have any caulking right now. I can't put roof cement in there. So I don't think there's going to be any more sawdust coming in. We'll find out. Oh. I put everything back in here, and just keep an eye on things. I got to get some caulking and shove in caulking. I don't know. I don't see where any of that sawdust can be coming from because it's all sealed up here. There's no openings, and there's no hole in the plywood in the back, the backing plywood, which goes right across the back. You can probably see it a little bit, maybe not, I don't know. That's about it. We just got to wait for the next rain, which I'm sure we'll be getting, and we got to keep an eye on this. And I'm going to keep this like this for a while because I want to still go up there and put more coating on that. It's about all I can do. I can lay some 30-pound felt. I've got some of that. Tar the hell out of it, lay the 30-pound felt on top, but the lower piece is going to overlap the top, and the water's going to get under it. So all I can do is just tar the hell out of it. That's all I can do. All right, so that's it for today, folks. Just thought I'd give you an update. A lot of water in the brook these days. Take care. Thanks for watching.